Welcome to the Flaman Connect podcast, a podcast focused on the individual pieces that make up the larger community of people together, doing what's right and making a difference. Today's hosts, we have myself, Trevor Grinde, Regan Kuntz, and Mitch Flaman. How fast can a pig run a mile?
So
is a pig faster than a human?
I think so.
I would say so too.
I would say so.
Okay, so like an average runner does a mile 7 to 10 minutes.
So could a pig do a 4-minute mile? Probably not.
Yep. I'm gonna.
You think a pig could?
Yep.
That's a hell of a feat for a human.
We go.
I'm
twice
gonna
as fast.
go
That's too
around.
fast. That's record fast for a human.
That's record.
Well, I guess it's record fast based on. I started training for a half marathon here, so I'm getting back into pacing.
Yeah.
And that would be record speed for me. I'm gonna go with a 5-minute mile.
Yeah, I was kind of in there too.
So I would have to, when I first looked at this, I'm like, can a pig actually run a mile without stopping?
Well,
Doesn't matter.
there you
I'm
go.
assuming they're going without stopping.
Okay.
$1. I'll say 6 minutes.
Okay, you guys are close. It's 7 minutes.
Okay.
7 minutes. Did you know drinking a banana milkshake can help cure a hangover?
Is this like true or false, or that's
No. This
you're
is
letting me know
this
for
is
next time?
Did you know? Yeah. So alcohol is a diuretic, so that means you pee more, and that leads to dehydration, and that's what gives you the hangover. So, additionally, ingesting alcohol tends to deplete your body's mineral levels. So the milk in the banana smoothie works to rehydrate your body. It also, you can count on the bananas to boost your nutrient levels like potassium. They're rich in electrolytes and magnesium. Bananas are also easy to digest, so that means they're easy on your tummy. And if you suffer from nausea under a hangover condition, the banana smoothie is ideal for that situation. And finally, if you add honey to your banana smoothie, it actually replenishes your blood sugar levels.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a bunch of these frozen in the freezer, ready to just pull out.
Banana smoothies.
Did you know that corn is the most highly produced crop worldwide, with a global production of more than 1.1 billion tons in 2020? It's almost double the production of rice and more than wheat, barley, and other grains combined.
I would hate to be allergic to corn because corn is in everything.
Yeah, especially south of the border.
Yeah,
I had popcorn last night, speaking of corn, and I like popcorn.
I like popcorn
boy.
too. I think I like it because you can do so much different stuff with it. So the only thing though is, so when you have like the popcorn maker, and there's a bunch of different cool ones where it spits it out right into this bowl, and then you just turn the whole popcorn maker upside down. It's kind of neat. And we used to do that all the time and put coconut oil in it.
Yep.
And now we're just back to the convenience of all these
butter
kids
and
in
salt.
just throw that bag in the microwave and
yeah.
deal with it. But yes, so there was a time where Caitlin and I hammered popcorn, and you get I don't know if they're chicken wing spices or if they're popcorn spices, but that's the trick. If anyone's ever making good chicken wings, they're using like popcorn spices, and if anyone's making good popcorn, they're using chicken wing spices.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do so much different stuff with them.
What amazes me is like you have this giant vat of popcorn, and I will literally sit down and crush the whole thing.
Same.
But then I say to myself, "Well, it was really only this many seeds. Like,
it wasn't
it was
much.
really not much."
Just
so I don't feel guilty.
Just the
With a
salt
half
and the
a pound
butter.
of butter on it.
I always use the Lowry's seasoning salt.
Oh, me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you guys know what brown butter is?
No.
Have you guys ever had brown butter?
No.
So that's
No.
a German thing as well. So brown butter essentially is burnt butter. You let it go through a process of basically it takes the milk fat and it burns it, and it gives it a different flavor. We'd put it, growing up, we'd put it on pierogies and all this sort of stuff, right? But you put brown butter on popcorn and it gives it a nice flavor with a little bit of salt. It's fantastic.
Nice.
I think I've accidentally made brown butter.
Well, that's what I was going. It's like, is this a joke?
Yeah, no.
Often on Sundays when I make eggs, I throw some butter in there and
Yeah.
I start prepping eggs, and then it's brown butter. It's like, I did it again.
But it's yummy.
So now you know it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, I did it on
That's
purpose
good.
because I have German descent.
It's time for Now You Know. It's the part of the program where we talk to people, experts in their field, various varieties and various areas of farming. Today we're talking with David Fielding.
I'd like to just discuss the fertilizer industry as a whole. And from your expertise, where is this going? Where is the access to product? What's going to change in the next 10 years with what's going on in the world? I just want to get your opinion on, where that industry appears to be headed.
So as far as movement, fertilizer in general is not as sexy as equipment, right? There's not a new model of chemistry that's coming out on a daily basis or on a yearly basis when it comes to fertilizer manufacturing. Many of the things that worked 10,000 years ago are the same things that work today. It's just the manner in which we make them is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. In terms of overall pricing, we're starting to see a little bit of a decrease come off of a high from the last couple of years. But outside of that, fertilizer doesn't necessarily change. How we feed our fertilizers, the attention we pay to soil nutrition and soil health, use of micronutrients as supplemental fertilizer, those are the things that change. But overall, the salts, the bones of our industry don't change a whole lot.
So you mentioned slow release nitrogen, or just slow release fertilizer. What's the difference in the how there? Why is that different than, I'll just use the word like traditional fertilizer? What's going on there?
So as a supplement to in-furrow or broadcast or soil-bound nutrition, you can intentionally choose when and where and how to feed your nutrients, depending on which method you use. You can put all your groceries in the ground up front, you can put all your money in the ground, and you can go to the lake. Or you can choose to take a portion of those nutrients and supply them through another mechanism. You can top dress, you can side dress, you can band it on, you can foliar feed. And slow release nitrogen is one of the mechanisms that you can use in order to foliar feed the nutrients that you are intentionally hedging your bet against early on in the season.
Got it. So when you hear people talk about staging your fertility program, that's referring to, instead of putting all the groceries in the ground at the beginning and going to the lake, you put some in, emergence happens. If the weather and environment looks favorable, then you can choose to add more groceries.
You can, yeah. It can be opportunistic. I would say that the way that you described it is opportunistic. Mm-hmm. You can also work it into a full farm program.
Okay, so now I'm curious. This is, I'm always interested in good debates here, but I believe I've heard debate on if foliar feeding makes sense or not, or if it's even possible, because the way that you get taught how a plant works when you're in school, not like post-secondary school, but like as a child, the mouth of the plant is in the root. So then it would be my simple understanding that that's where the food's got to go. So you're telling me otherwise. You're saying foliar then goes through a different how. Can you touch on that a bit?
Yeah, let's rewind the clock back a little bit. Let's go, post World War II. The U.S. had just dropped 2 nuclear bombs on another country, and as a result, there's radiation fallout that takes place. Well, unintended consequences means that that's going to affect the ground for years and years to come, and some of the research dollars that originated from the United States went into research on how radiation was going to affect plants in the event of a nuclear fallout. Mm-hmm. And what they did is they attached radioactive ions and fed them through the leaf, or tracked their translocation from the leaf surface through the plant down to the root system. And so from that point forward, that was kind of the baseline of time and technology that said translocation of nutrients, be they radioactive or not, is possible from the leaf surface. Because radiation doesn't necessarily propagate through the ground. It propagates in the air, it drops through water droplets onto a leaf surface, and then translocates to the soil.
There's a lot of great takeaways from this conversation. Thanks a lot, David. We're going to move on to our last segment of our show today, and that's an interview with our special guest. Our guest today is Derek Smith from the PA Store, sales guru. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
No, thanks for having me. It's always great to sit down and talk with some intelligent people.
Yeah, they're coming later.
Yeah,
What's with the air quotes?
yeah. Collectively, we're pretty smart, but you split us apart, and I don't know.
How's your day going today?
Awesome. Yeah. Getting close to the end of the month here, so trying to wrap up a few deals and always looking to work hard and move on that next deal.
If your customers were to describe you, who's Derek Smith to them? Like, what would they say about you?
Wow. I think a lot of them will say very organized, very loyal. We'll get back to you all the time. Like if it's not the next day, it'll be the next day. Sometimes if you're out the road or busy in the summertime, things are flying pretty fast and furious. But just the loyalty and giving it my best and always fighting for the best price for them. Like I know we all work for making margin and making good money and love doing it, of course. But also on the other side, we want to keep that guy and want to, even if it's have to beat it a little bit this time and get it back from him the next time type of thing. It's always a little give and chase. And I guess outside of the Flaman career, I know lots of my farmers outside of the career too, outside of the sales industry, and have coached some of their kids in some of the sporting events that I've coached over the years, and get to know them that way, and just that personal touch for sure. Probably one of my better customers is our competition is Murray Watchell from the Lake Country Co-op. Like I coached his kid way back in volleyball in the day, and he's just gotten to be real good friends with me, and we stay in touch, and we're talking, staying on top of things in the competition world. And if he needs a quick fan in September because his customer's looking for one, we're always wheeling and dealing. So it's awesome.
I remember back, I guess it'd be 10, 12, actually 15 years ago now when I worked for Ralco, and Vaughn Wyatt was one of my customers. He used to sell him radio advertising and stuff. And he always used to say, I just want a deal that's good for you and good for me. Don't make it too good for you and don't make it too good for me, because that's not long-term business. Create something that works for the both of us, and that's long-term business.
Yeah, for sure. Like everybody's in business, right? Everybody knows they got to make a little bit to keep everybody fed at the table. So
that reminds me, that was something Grandpa Frank always said. And so we would always call it, or it was taught to me, it was called like puppy dog selling. So he was never worried about the first deal, right? So there was something like, and puppy dog selling is when someone gets a puppy, okay? So you know what? Why don't you just take it home? And if it doesn't work for you, then bring it back. Well, it didn't matter if it was tires for a vehicle or a tractor or he was famous for bringing in jackals and stuff. Just take it. And if it doesn't work, bring it back. Well, no one ever brought stuff back. Just like no one would ever return a puppy. But it was all the philosophy there, from my understanding as a kid, was it was always about, there was a long play there. Like, no. We're just here to give you a solution. And if it can help you out, you'll come back. And I think it kind of speaks a little bit to what you're saying. Like when you get this relationship and if you can make it a good deal for everyone, that's the goal for everyone at the end of the day.
No, I've really liked the demo days and all of taking the thing out. Like you say, not much comes back ever. And just being able to try it. I guess I'm a real hands-on learner, not real just looking at notes and learning it that way. I gotta sell something. I gotta have it in my hand. I gotta operate it and
touch it, feel it,
and work with the guys with it. And the more you do that, just the demo days like that, demoing those Pertons last couple of years with the moisture testers. I set it up on farm, show them how to use it, and call them a week later. You want me to come pick that up? No, you better just leave that. Just send me the invoice. That's working pretty good for me.
You better leave this puppy right here.
Exactly. The Perton puppy dog.
And then further to the puppy dog, then the puppy will need some food and toys and a bed.
And a little nurturing.
We have those too. That's right.
No, I think it all comes together as one.
So you'd mentioned something about coaching there. Tell me a little bit about that. I feel like there's a Derek Smith side of life outside of this place called Flaman, and tell me more about that.
Yeah, I guess before Flaman, I graduated from University of Saskatchewan with a kinesiology degree, which is a big word for physical education. So yeah, from there I did some municipal government for about 10 years before Flaman's. Recreation directing with the town of Bigger and recreation coordinating with the CDPA, and just with our kids growing up, they were heavy into fastball and basketball and volleyball, the gym sports in the summer and field sports in the summer, gym sports in the winter, and just took a real knack to keeping kids active. So yeah, I've done a lot of coaching in the community. We started Prince Albert Community Basketball Association probably about 15 years ago. I just recently, in the last couple of years, passed that hat on to another guy to kind of take it. Our kids are older and growing through some of those youth sports. But so yeah, back in the day, lots of coaching, getting kids active with programming through the city, but then also kind of in the extracurricular time that I had, I took on coaching. So was really successful in coaching some of those teams. We went on to win a few national champions, Western Canadian championships. So
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And just some of those efforts paid off in the last couple of years, and was inducted into the Prince Albert Sports Hall of Fame.
You were Derek Smith.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm actually a three-timer in that. Back in the day, our fastball team won back-to-back midget national fastball championships, 95, 96. So we went in as a team we got inducted as a team.
Cool.
So then that was quite a few years ago, and just recently was inducted as an athlete and a builder meritorious service. So I'm actually in the Prince Albert Hall of Fame under 3 categories. So
Oh, that's awesome.
amazing.
yeah.
So what's if you had to pick one, what's the most memorable moment you got in your sports career, but specifically on the coaching side?
Coaching side, organization side, probably the biggest one that we've pulled off to date was the 2018 World Junior Softball Championships. I guess I never coached in that, but I was a co-chair for the event, and we brought in, I believe it was 12 countries came to Prince Albert over 10 days and competed for an under-19 junior men's world championship. So I was a co-chair for that, and it was a long 2 weeks. I was actually a long 5 years and pulling it all off and getting the diamonds built and making this championship the best it can be. And so, yeah, no, that was probably one of my top coaching / organizing entities. So,
What about as an athlete?
as an athlete, yeah, I've done a lot of sports, lots back in the day, recreationally now, of course, just pick up beer league ball and some co-ed volleyball. But I don't want to get hurt too much nowadays, getting old. But as an athlete, probably winning that back-to-back midget Canadian championship. We're a Saskatchewan team. We went out to, actually we only had to go out to Winnipeg to play that championship, but we had to play the Ontario's, and who's PA when you're playing against some Ontario team, these big guys. But we took them all out and we won the championship. I was named the tournament MVP for pitching every game in the playoffs.
So unreal.
That was fun. And then next year, 96, we actually hosted the championship in Prince Albert. So we were coming in as the defending champions, and we were getting the crowds because Prince Albert is a fastball town. They're real deep, and lots of people come out and watch it in Prince Albert. So yeah, it was good. We had probably a couple thousand people watching that final game, and I don't remember who we beat. We beat them good though. And our big thing in 95 was after we won, we did snow angels, well, dirt angels in the infield. And so as soon as 96 hit in front of the hometown crowd, we were on the dirt and doing the angels in the dirt. Yeah, it was awesome.
So I've known you for probably close to 3 years now since I've been with Flamans. I would never picture you to be a really fiery, competitive guy, but I do know that you've got a sporting background. Having said that, though, about 2 weeks ago, I went and watched your son play, who plays for the U of S Huskies men's volleyball team. And I saw your fiery, compassionate side come out because we sat behind the court, and the whole time he's just beaking the other team. Oh, that's not a very good serve. Almost to the point where I was kind of pulling my hood over my head a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, it comes out. It comes out. And for surely it's in the sporting side that it comes out. Otherwise, I'm a pretty relaxed guy and just take it all in. But the sporting brings out.
But you knew all the kids on the opposite team though, so you're beaking them by name, and you knew actually how to maybe get under their skin a little bit, right? So it was awesome.
Well, we did have a real good experience this past summer out at Canada Games. My son plays with the Husky volleyball now, but he played with Team Saskatchewan last summer, and they got to experience the Canada Games out in Niagara Falls. So we actually. Our team won the Canada Cup about a month prior to going out to Niagara Falls. So Canada Cup's kind of like the Nationals preview before Canada Games. So we won that. So we were like, oh shit, the guys maybe peaked a little early here. We're gonna have big X on the back coming in here, and they went into Canada Games and they ended up winning it all. But just that vibe in the crowd and the gold medal final, even the semifinal and the quarterfinal was so exciting, so packed crowd, and we did a little bit of beaking, and I think we owned a little bit of that gold medal. I'm sure me and a couple other parents.
So do you get more fired up watching your kids than when you played yourself?
I think I probably do nowadays. Like I'm pretty competitive on the court, and I do remember being fired up, but I think he doesn't get fired up. I think I help him get fired up because he's pretty calm and collective on the court. He's not a over the net talker, between the net talker kind of thing, where I was a little bit like that. But like you said, when I'm outside the court, I'm pretty relaxed and pretty low key. So you wouldn't see it in me.
I was gonna say I wouldn't guess. It's clear he just comes to work to relax after a long weekend. To relax, sleep until 9, go home at 4.
Sell hard in between.
Okay, one question kind of in 3 parts then. So what's your favorite sport to play, favorite sport to coach, favorite sport to watch?
Interesting. So probably sport to play, just because I continue playing it nowadays, is fastball. I still play men's fastball in PA, and I've loved fastball right from day one. Watched Dad play fastball right through. Every little hometown, every little community had a fastball tournament way back in the day, and Mom and Dad would just throw us in the camper. We're going to the fastball tournament for the weekend, and a couple of us kids would have our own little tournament going on the side, just with bat and ball. Or so, I think fastball is in my family from day one, and I kind of try to carry it on, even though my kids don't play. We're still looking to host championships in PA and still involved in that. So I think that's probably. Second part was the coaching. Coaching probably was the volleyball. I just like the dynamics and keeping on our side and our own strategy in our defense and offensive strategies. Basketball was way too hard to coach. I like organizing it, but too many moving parts. It's like kind of like hockey and football. Couldn't get it. So I just like coaching. I really like coaching volleyball, and was successful a couple of years ago and named Sask Volleyball's Coach of the Year just before I packed that hat in there. So that was. And then what was the third part of the question?
Favorite sport to watch.
Favorite sport to watch. So I don't watch much TV. We don't.
It can be live.
Yeah. Oh, live. I love live events for sure. Love live events. I love going to the different stadiums. Like, we've traveled quite a bit in our days, and always like to take in a basketball game, a football game, a hockey game kind of thing. So I love to see live sports any day. Yeah. But to watch probably basketball again on TV, that's kind of my if I could watch the last 15 minutes of the fourth quarter of every game kind of thing, it kind of bores me the first 3 quarters.
I hear you.
Baseball, that takes way too long. I got to sit for 4 hours. Golf, well, I love golfing on Friday afternoons, but watching it. Kind of boring too. I can get into the playoff.
So like
playoff atmospheres. I like
Friday after lunch.
Yes.
Sure.
Friday about 4:00. We'll say we go golfing.
I don't believe you. Yeah.
So one thing I do know is you are a very big music goer as well. You guys love going to concerts. What would the top concert you've ever been to be?
Been to a few, not a whole bunch, but one of my buddies has a inn at or credit union center for a box, so he's been inviting us the last 2 years to lots of concerts.
Yeah.
So we did see Metallica a couple of years at a credit union, and that was a really good concert. That was pretty amazing for sure. But yeah, we just love the local vibe, the local scene, the live music at some of the local venues in Saskatoon and whatnot. So we've kind of grown. We got a cabin at the lake too, so we like to host people and have live concerts. So we've had 2 years in a row now. We've had different bands come in and play on our back deck. And last year, new up and coming 19-year-old, maybe he's 20 now, Jake Vadaland and the Sturgeon River Boys. If you guys ever get a chance to see those guys live, unreal 19, 20-year-old that's just coming up in the little bit of bluegrass, rockabilly, they kind of call it nowadays, I think. Yeah. But I think he's on his way to Nashville one day. So
oh, wow.
We hosted him last year. We know his parents really well in Prince Albert here. So he's got an upcoming concert at the Rawlinson Center coming up this week, February 1st. And if you get to see Jake Vadaland, go check him out.
Nice.
Super cool.
So other than that, just all the local bands, and just love live music for sure.
Is there a lot of local musicians in Prince Albert? Like, is Prince Albert a fairly musical city?
I would say not. Just not as much opportunity for places to play. Not like Saskatoon, right? There's lots of we love Saskatoon. We love coming there. Our kids both go to school in Saskatoon, so we come and visit quite a bit on the weekends and check the Buds and Broadways out. Yeah, do some dancing.
That's sweet.
So what was it like growing up for you, Derek? How many siblings do you have? What were your parents like?
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from McDowell, Saskatchewan, so not even too far from PA here, about 20 minutes south of PA. So didn't venture off too far. Grew up as a cattle farmer. Dad was a cattle farmer. We grew some grain on the side just to feed the cows. Yep. And did lots of hard work back in the day, and cattle farming and calving in minus 35 degree weather, January weather. Not like they do it now. They make it so easy. Right? Let them out in the pasture and they calve in April and May. Wow.
The sun shining.
What is going on, Dad? But anyways, did lots of that back in the day. I have two sisters. Colleen lives in PA. Her husband works for Sask Energy. She's a teacher assistant. And my other sister passed away about 20 years ago now. So it was a car accident in Saskatoon. I could talk about it a lot easier now than a long time ago. But she just there was a Sammy that hit her on College Drive, and it was a month before she was getting married to a guy. And,
Okay.
Yeah, so it was really sad. And but 20 years goes by, and you still think of her lots. But so I had two sisters. I got one now, and
you're just a young buck.
Older, younger. Where do you fit?
So I'm the oldest in the family. So I'm the oldest, and I got two younger sisters that used to pester me a lot for sure, and I got back at them a few times.
I always found humor in so when Prince Albert came to the one Christmas party in Saskatoon. And we sat down. We've known Derek here for a long time. And he starts talking about, like, his kids, and they're in university. Like, Derek, how old are you? Like, Derek's been, I don't know, stuck at, like, 30 years forever. And then you learn that he's got kids in university. Like, Derek, how old are you?
Well, I just turned 46 a couple days ago on January 26th. Wayne Gretzky's birthday, too. I always remember that. My mom and dad wrote, well, I guess I should have said that. I gave the punchline away. Got a letter from Wayne Gretzky back in the day when I was like 5 or 6. I loved him. Born on the same day. Loved Edmonton Oilers growing up. Find that letter years, Mom and Dad had wrote that letter to me from Wayne Gretzky, so it wasn't from Wayne Gretzky. But he was still my idol, and we still share a birthday together. So, yeah. But a sad note too, Kobe Bryant died on my birthday, and Kobe Bryant was probably my favorite basketball player. I've seen him live a couple times play basketball, and he passed away with his daughter on January 26th. So remember that day we were coaching club volleyball. It was a Sunday, so we were coaching, and one of the kids was on, while we were on water break, he's checking his phone, of course, and Kobe Bryant died. What? No way. And sure enough, I was just like, oh my God. That hit me hard that day. Really? I remember that, Just he was kind of my idol for sure in a basketball world, and seeing him live play, and he's just unreal. And
it was bitter. I've seen him play live too, and it's bittersweet to watch because he's so good. But like watching him live, it was kind of like you were watching 5 people play one guy. He just gets the ball, he just comes in, does his own thing. It's like, and then they go back, and then you do it again. Like, what are we doing here? But when you just watched him as a guy, he was phenomenal. Like talent, like you hadn't. And I didn't understand that until I actually saw him live. You didn't get a grasp on how good he really was until like he was right there in front of you.
Well, I scored 81 on the Raptors, I think, a couple years before he passed away. Like one guy, 81 points. Like I think Wilt got 100, but that was when you could stand in the key, and he was 7'6" or something. And I guess just thinking farming back in the day, just one of my first memorable moments, just as a kid, back at the farm was just Grandpa, my dad's dad. I didn't know him very long because I think he passed away when I was about 5, but just riding in the tractor and feeding the cows with them. And there was this one white button. It must have been a timing thing with the radio or something, but it must have been in the tractor the same day, but hit this white button. It was a rooster, eh? It was a rooster. So I was like, oh, that white button, eh? But when I started driving that tractor 10 years later, it would never do the rooster thing for me. So it must have been, it was just Grandpa making things up and just dropping bales. I remember one time we were feeding and got the feeders, the round hay bale feeders, and we were dumping one in. Well, he didn't look. There's a cow that got caught inside, dumps the bale, and then shit hits the fan, right? Outside, Dad, where are you? And I think it was only like 4 or 5, so I've just got to hanging around looking at it. They're just yelling and screaming and trying to get the cow out from the bale feeder. But that was some of my fun favorite moments of living on the farm.
Who would have been somebody you remember as being a mentor, somebody that you learned a lot from, whether it be personal or business wise?
Right, for sure, Dad. Like followed him around all over the farm, and he taught me lots of good things and bad things. And but yeah, I just remember like when I was 12 or 14, and we're kind of starting about what am I gonna do when I grow up? And he just, no, you can't be a farmer. You can't, like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to be a cattle farmer. It's too hard. Eh? So, okay. But we love sports, right? So then I kind of want to maybe a teacher, phys ed teacher. So they always kind of push me that way. But now that I wish I would have been a farmer. I just love that lifestyle that they live in. I guess we still own some land and we rent it out nowadays. But to start farming nowadays would be very, very hard, I think, with the price of equipment, the price of land, and nearly impossible. Like, and you got to be a big, well, not big farmer, but you got to significant to maybe make a go of it. So, we always have the farm to go back to. We'll always cut the grass back there and make sure everything's good. And Mom and Dad kind of travel between Candle Lake and Arizona and the farm, so they're happy.
So you guys are doing some maintenance when they're away doing the things, which is great.
Yeah,
Works well for them.
Getting the tractors, pushing the snow, keeping the driveway cleared, looking like it's still being vacated. Yeah.
Well, it's good for your kids too to still have that exposure to the farm, right?
Yeah, for sure. And who knows? Maybe one of them will take up something that'll become farming related nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, my oldest 22-year-olds. So yeah, we did start early, Mitch. We started early. We got going early and like it, but loving in the end here. We're empty nested. We're mid-40s, loving life.
That's unreal.
So yeah, no, it's a little bit of win-win, I guess. Eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, my oldest is third year engineering, and right now he's doing a internship with Calian Engineering. So just a company, an engineering company. He's a computer engineer is what he's going in for. So way above my head for sure. But he got assigned to Precision AI, which is a Saskatchewan farming company that's working on the 25-foot drone that's coming out in the next couple of years. So pretty exciting. I was like,
cool.
I was showing him, seeing these guys at the farm show. That drone is huge. And he's computer programming it right now. I don't know what part of it,
That's
but
amazing.
Cool.
I said, make sure you leave your name, leave your mark on that. So he's just in an internship right now. So he'll come back after working with Callian here and go back into his 4th year and hopefully stay in Saskatchewan.
But that's
agriculture.
That's your contribution to the ag industry, right? Or your dad's contribution, right? You grew up on the farm. Ironically, ended up back in the ag industry, had that influence on your kids. Now, your kids, even though they're taking an engineering path, back into the ag industry, right?
Just through COVID. We talked a lot about when COVID was going on and what industries will survive. And agriculture has to happen all the time, right? They will farm, they will produce. We have to have food, right? So anything in the agriculture industry is only going to be there in the future.
Do you have a motto?
No, live life to the fullest.
There
I
you
think
go.
that's my motto. I think that's on my Twitter or Instagram. So I think I must have come up with that one day. Stick with that.
Would you consider a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog, a sandwich. Now we're getting
I need
deep.
to know.
I love crushing hot dogs, but it's not a sandwich.
No?
It's served on a bun. So anything that's on a bun, I don't consider a sandwich.
What about a hamburger?
It's not a sandwich.
Okay.
Bologna sandwich.
We're getting
Bologna.
somewhere.
Yeah.
No, we're getting somewhere.
Some butter, some mustard, piece of meat and cheese. That's a sandwich.
What if you cut the hot dog in half, like butterflied it, and then put it on bread? Would it be a hot dog sandwich?
It would be. Yeah. And I've actually had hot dog pizza before. Like we would always make fun of pizzas and whatnot. And our ball team would play out in the Canwood tournament. Some people probably played in the
I played there. Yeah.
Summerfest. Yeah. So anyways, we were talking about, it'd be great to have hot dog pizza. So sure enough, the next year, some guy made up a bunch of hot dog pizzas, roasted them over the fire, and
they were good.
I love pizza. I just love pizza. So I could eat pizza all the time.
Yeah.
Any time of the day.
Okay, one final question. If you could go back in time and tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Holy, 18-year-old self. Never quit. Always work hard. Just keep going every day. That's kind of my philosophy is wake up, contribute, go to bed. And I don't like people that slack off or don't put their time in. So that's one thing. I guess my youngest is Ethan. He's the oldest seems to really drive and take initiative, that type of thing. But my youngest is still lacking in that. So that's one thing I'm going to work on with him is get up and work hard and
get
put
up
your
at
time in.
9 o'clock. Go put your time until 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Go golfing.
The golf course, watch a hockey game, go coach a kid. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today, Derek.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Beautiful.
Thank you for listening to Flaman Connect. For Mitch Flaman and Regan Kuntz, I'm Trevor Grinde. Join us next time. Talk to you soon.